everyone, welcome back. My name is Marie Major, and in this video I want to talk about New Age spirituality, and also I'm going to go over the Stargates. I'm also going to film another video to go deeper into the Stargates. I recently posted a video about what is a Stargate, and I kind of got a comment saying that, oh, like, I don't know if this is real or if this is authentic or is this New Age spirituality. And that's kind of why I got inspired to speak about this, because I also get very triggered with New Age spirituality. And I have to like catch myself, and like I tap in and my guides are like, remember, judging is such a human trait. It's, we get so tapped into our ego, and it is important to be very mindful, though. Does this feel aligned for me? How does this feel authentic? Is this energy at service for myself individually? So asking yourself that. And I understand that, like, I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, which I'm okay with, and I understand that. And some people are going to find that this aligns and some people won't. But even with certain like spiritual teachers, I've even been triggered too. But then I have to remind myself, okay, at some point, or they are helping other human beings, they're helping certain souls. Maybe they're not helping me and my timeline and my soul journey, but some of them might be aligned with other individuals and what their highest good and highest timelines are. So kind of it's hard, because I get very frustrated too, and I'll even be on social media and I see someone saying spiritual stuff and light language and they're white. I know I'm white, and I even get triggered by that. And it's like, how much are they actually holding space of what the truth is, what the ancestors are saying? Are they respecting certain lineages? Are they respecting Africa? Are they speaking about human rights? Are they standing up for Sudan, Congo, Palestine? Are they actually being vocal with platforms and being, especially a white person, are they speaking up about what has occurred? Are they holding space for these events that have taken place and are still happening on planet Earth? And that's a big one for me. But I understand that some people are really wanting to know about manifestation, creation, which I try to really share that, but I also want to hold truth for everything on my platform, on my channel. I want this space to be a place where, oh, it's not some fake spirituality and we're looking away. Not saying that other people's channels are fake. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I want to make sure that I stay rooted and honored with what I've been tapping into in the spiritual realms, and just the energy that I pick up from the ancestors and what is coming into just the highest truth. So I understand, but this is like a reminder that we have to remind ourselves, okay, yes, because even before COVID, I've been doing this work like since I've been a child. And I've also been like this where I've been speaking up for human rights since I've been young. There was a period though, I would say maybe like before COVID, that I was really learning about law of attraction, and I was very mindful and careful where I was giving my energy to, which I think maybe some people are on that path and are really tapping into that. And I think it's important, but it's also, you have to really hold space for truth, because honesty is healing. You can't have a healing journey, you can't have a soul journey without honesty, without stating and being aware and totally aligned with what is actually happening and what has taken place on planet Earth. Because if not, then you are kind of spiritual bypassing. You're going into a spiritual journey and leading others into such a blind area where they're totally closed off from actually what is happening on planet Earth. And what we come to planet Earth. Planet Earth is a school, and we are here like it's literally like a university, like a college. We are meant to mingle, connect with one another, but we have a purpose. And I know not everybody's soul's purpose will be so deep as healing the world, doing this work where you have to get on a level where you are raising the consciousness on planet Earth. But overall, collectively, we are doing that in some way or another, in some form, in some shape. So this is where it's mindful to be very, okay, what are your beliefs? What is your foundation? What are you aware of? What are you tapping into? Who are you tapping into? What guides are you tapping into? What are you channeling? Who, as humans, are you listening to, giving your time, your energy, your frequency? Asking yourself those questions are so important. But it's funny because COVID, there's now so many people, which is great though. But even I know some spiritual teachers or spiritual content creators that didn't have their remembering or awakening journey until COVID. So there's this energy of like this kind of where people are saying new age, because it is a new age frequency, but we also have to be mindful that every soul is on different timelines. Every soul is having a different journey. And just allowing that energy to be like, okay, like I hold space for that, I understand that, and I respect that. And it's so great that they are doing this work. But for me, I only being very mindful who I follow, who, I'm not going to state who, but there's certain people I've unfollowed where I'm like, okay, they're not stating stuff that aren't, feeding my soul. And I feel like it's not helping the highest timeline for the collective, and they're looking away in certain areas. So I can't hold space for this anymore. So I'm not going to follow this energy. But also, it is an energy of really understanding too that there's certain gurus, there's certain shamans, there's certain elders, which I would say though, there's not many, because a lot of the elders, a lot of the shamans, a lot of like people who are really connected into the nature and tapping into their ancestral lineage are very rooted in spirituality and are that divine channel. But I'm just saying there is a group of gurus, shamans, elders, spiritual teachers, spiritual thought leaders that are very much now maybe too much tapped into their ego, or they maybe had the right intention in the beginning and now they've kind of pinched themselves off step by step because their ego thought, their ego mind got to them, and their higher self voice actually became more quieter and quieter. When you're actually on a spiritual journey, it's supposed to get louder and louder. So I think also stating that is very important too. But let's get into this topic. But yes, new thought spirituality. I'm all about ancient energy, really connecting with the animals, nature, honoring ancestral lineages, honoring Indigenous people, honoring Africa, honoring where we come from, the cradle of humanity, the original blueprint, which is Africa, honoring all religions, all cultures. That is what I very much believe in. I believe diversity is the most beautiful place most beautiful thing on planet Earth, and that is how we should be moving with. And it's about an honoring and respect. I understand I'm white. I have nothing against white people. I love white people. I've tons of my family's white. I have friends who are white, but my roots go back to Europe, like all white people. And it is Hungarian roots, and I honor that lineage. But I also think as white people, we have a responsibility to heal what a lot of our ancestors have done, what is still taking place. And I think it's very, very important as a spiritual teacher, spiritual guide. I don't really consider a teacher. I consider myself more of a bridger and a guide, and working together with you, that it's very important to state that. And I try my best to always do in most of my videos. And I get that some people will see one video and then they say something and they get the wrong idea, or maybe it is the right idea for them and they just don't like me, which is okay. And I understand that and I respect that. And I understand that not everyone's gonna feel aligned with my messages. But let's get into the Stargates, because I want to name the Stargates. These are 12 primary Stargates that I have received from my own guides, tapping in. I'm not saying these are the right Stargates. They're the ones that I have tapped into. So Stargate 1 is Mount Shasta. Stargate 2 is Uluru. Stargate 3 is, oh no, sorry. See, this is where my mind is. Stargate 1 is Mount Shasta. Stargate 2 is Lake Titicaca. Stargate 3 is Uluru, Australia. Stargate 4 is Glastonbury, England. I know other people receive that one as a different number, but my guides keep saying the number is not the important thing right now. Okay, Stargate 5 is Egypt. Stargate 6 is Bali. Stargate 7 is Machu Picchu. Stargate 8 is the Himalayas. Stargate 9 is Antarctica. Stargate 10 is Iran. Stargate 11 is Hawaii. And Stargate 12 is Mount Fuji. Okay, there's other Stargates that I've received, like Stargate 13 is Iceland. And then also I'm going to dive deeper into one video about the Stargates in Africa. I've channeled 7 main Stargates, and I want to give that just the time and energy that it deserves to speak about those Stargates. And also, though, Stargates, there's many. Like, I see hundreds on planet Earth, but those are the 12 primary ones. Also, that being said, I'm going to film another video to go deeper. I do have a PDF pocketbook on my website. I think it's like $11 or something. That is like, it really dives deep into the story of the 12 primary Stargates. And what I've channeled and what I have in my notebook. And this is where I want to dive deeper into a video about that. There's other videos though, I don't know how long ago, but a couple months ago, where I was speaking about the Stargates and the stories about the Stargates and the energy and what certain Stargates mean to the collective, and kind of which ones are dormant and which ones are more open. Many are waking up because the collective is waking up. The collective is remembering. So keep that in mind with when we are tapping into the energy of the Stargates. We don't need to travel to the Stargates. And if you do, I ask you, if you are a grid worker, to ask the Indigenous people permission and the land itself permission before you do any energy work, upgrades, healing. Really allow that to be that intention to be put into place. But the most powerful message that I've received from the Stargates is the Stargates is in each and every one of us, and they are aligned to our chakras. And I'll go into that. Somebody comment, well, tell us what the chakras are. I just don't want to make videos too long, and I have to run, but I am going to dive deeper into all the chakras, into how they are connected to the spirit chakra, to the soul chakra, all that. And I want to be very specific and mindful when speaking about that. But it is, if you do want to get that PDF, by all means, I know it's something like I've put where you purchase it, but you can buy that if you really are called to understanding and just having that as a pocketbook for yourself. So when you are tapping into your meditations, you can go there and just see, okay, this is what this Stargate is saying. This is the story behind this Stargate, and really allow that to just, connect if you really want to work deeper on these Stargates. But I am going to film a video this week about the chakras, the story behind Stargates, and I am going to dive deeper on it, specifically on each Stargate, to give it its own just energy and time that it deserves. So that being said, thank you so much for watching and thank you for being here.